welcome back to News Geelong. We're less than an hour away from the top of the table clash in the AFL between Geelong and Essendon. News Geelong caught up with Chris Scott during the week. And remember, you can catch the full press conference on our YouTube channel. Also remember to visit us on Twitter at NewsGeelong31 and visit our Facebook page.
I think they've played the best footy this season that I've seen. I'll stand by that comment. So if you take that as a given, then yeah, it's probably the best challenge or the biggest challenge we've had. But you know, I'd say even more important than that is us improving our game. I don't think we've got to our optimal level this season, and this is another chance against a really good opposition to be a bit more consistent. But irrespective of the result, you know, the challenge next week against Port Adelaide will be to play even better. Yeah, they do. We really enjoy playing against the best teams, and at the moment we think Essendon are the best team. So these are the kind of games I think that the good players live for. You know, short of playing finals footy, you crave the big games against the best opposition, and hopefully that brings out our best. Oh, it's probably just consistency. It's a matter of smoothing out both of those things. Probably don't want to smooth out the peaks too much. We'd like to keep hitting the high points, but you know, I've heard a few comments that we've been a little bit inconsistent this year, and we probably share that view. It's incredibly difficult to maintain your level through 25, 26 weeks, but our goal is to be playing better at the end of the season than we were at the start, and we think we have improved somewhat, but we've still got a way to go to get to our best. Yeah, we think so, but we thought so last week as well. So he hasn't trained fully this week. We're leaving that a little bit later, so once he's done that, we'll be in a better position to judge. But yeah, we're extremely hopeful. Yeah, I think everyone's improved, really, within reason. I think everyone in the top half of the ladder's improved, and they're going to improve in the second half as well. It's all a matter of degrees. So, I thought we were pretty good in the second half against Hawthorn, and we were pretty good in the second half against Richmond as well. But I think most of the good sides would tell you that if you're inconsistent and you play poorly in patches of games, you're going to leave yourself with a big task. And we've been fortunate in some ways to be able to make up for those lapses in games, but I don't think that type of footy is sustainable. Oh, somewhere, but look, the information we're getting is that it's 12, but these things are pretty fluid. It is a two-part procedure. He's had obviously a number of procedures around that knee, which has involved some drilling into the bone. So the first part of his rehab will be to take a little bit of bone out of his hip and fill those drill holes in his knee. So the recovery from that will be about 3 months, which is pretty conservative. He won't be able to do much in that time. And then he'll go through a standard patella graft. And the traditional rehab is about 9 months from there. So I think it's pretty safe to say that it'll be between 12 and 15 months. Be highly unlikely that he'd be back before 12 months. Yeah, we've got to take a really balanced approach to his rehab. It's not all about hard work and being at the club and facing that mental stress. He's going to have a period of downtime where he can't do much to improve his knee. So it only makes sense that he uses that time to get away and try to forget about footy as much as is possible. That's just how they do the grafts. Yeah, they've got to fix the graft to the bone. Yeah. So look, without going into the detail, and I'm certainly not an expert in the area. So the bottom line is he has some holes in there that they think will make the graft stronger if they fill with his own bone. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's exceptionally good considering. He's a bit like Josh Hunt. His performance puts him in our best 22. But our conservative management means that he won't play this week. Our VFL team's got a bye, which is sort of unfortunate timing in a way for a few of them. We won't commit to it, but he certainly won't play this week, and the probability is that he won't play the following week against Port Adelaide as well. Yeah, sorry, Josh is the same. So it is extremely conservative with Josh, and probably a little bit frustrating for him. He's playing well enough, but we're going to wait another week with Josh. Yeah, that's frustrating for him. But yeah, he'll still be able to train pretty hard, and he's I think everyone's got to remember he missed the whole pre-season with glandular fever, and so it's the combination of missing the work and also being pretty sick as well. So we're going to take our time. We consider him a really important part of our squad, and he's going to be important in the second half of the year. So if we're going to make a mistake, we'll make one by being a little bit too slow in his build back to AFL footy. Yeah, he will be. Yeah, he was declared medically fit, albeit still a little bit sore, and we just weren't prepared to take the risk that he might get another knock on an already sore shoulder and have to carry that for the rest of the season. So our ruck stocks are already pretty slim at the moment, so we'd just prefer to wait what turns out to be an extra 2 weeks and give him a chance to play his best footy, because it is tough in today's footy to play sore, and if he played, there was a risk that he would play sore for the next couple of months. Pretty good considering. I mean, Tom's got a stiff back, where we've been upfront about that. He missed the week before and he's still limited by that. The medical opinion is that he's certainly not doing himself any harm by playing. He just is a little bit limited. So at some point we need to decide whether he's so limited that it's affecting his performance too much. But yeah, there's no secret in the fact that he's a little bit stiff, and he's not as agile as he is at his best. But he's still a bit of a handful close to goal. That's for us. Yeah, I mean, I regard those sort of observations as pretty superficial, but those observers only have the vision to go by. They don't know the inner workings of what Tom's working through, and that's fair enough. No, I probably would have said to this point last year that they were playing the best footy as well. I think their game's improved. They're probably playing a bit more of a rounded game, but I should be a little bit more upfront. I mean, it's a pretty casual opinion. I haven't studied all the teams that we're yet to play. It's just a casual observation that the footy I've seen this year, theirs has been as good as anyone's. Yeah, it's probably not as relevant as previous games, but less because of the Giants and more because we think Essendon have played better in the games previous to that one, and we expect them to play at their best this week. The Giants were good around the ball. If it tells us we need to be good around the ball against Essendon, then we probably shouldn't be in a job, because we should know that. Yeah, I think that question was put to him. How tall do you reckon Andrew Mackie is?
I've got no idea.
194 centimetres. We would like Jared Rivers in the team, but Andrew Mackie's not a small defender, so he's probably being a little bit modest there. But having said that, their tall forwards are taller than ours, so they play. Yeah, and 2 ruckmen and 3 very tall defenders as well. So at a stretch, they could probably play another one, Gumbleton or Cramery, those type of guys. So yeah, they're going to be exceptionally tall and strong in the air, and we're going to have to counter that and try to exploit any advantage we might have on the ground. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Mitch Brown and Shane Kirsten are probably the 2 that are right in the forefront of our minds. A little bit will depend on whether Chapman. I'm aware of the option that Merrick has to play a little bit of footy with our VFL team. There's a 23rd man system that he's eligible for, but I'm a fair way removed from those discussions, and I trust that Ben Waller and the VFL team to work through those issues. Yeah, I have some thoughts, but for fear of getting it horribly wrong, I won't speculate any further. That sounds about right. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, but he's close. So my thinking's probably revolving more around when we bring him back into the AFL system, and that is very unlikely to be in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So it'd be nice to play him the week before the bye, but there's just so much training and so much VFL time to get through that it's hard to speculate. But yeah, VFL in 2 weeks sounds about right. I think you only need to listen to the explanations to understand how difficult it is for umpires. I think the explanations are extremely confusing. To say that you can't bump, block, push or hold in a marking contest makes it very difficult to understand how you can make any contact at all.
Does the rule need to be rewritten?
My preference is for the Laws of the Game Committee to be more direct with the umpires.
More direct about the interpretation of rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they seem to be coaching a different interpretation of that rule this year to previous year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I heard someone say the rule's been in for 10 years. I think it's different this year than it has been for the previous 9.
So, what do you tell a Tom Hawkins in that situation? Has anything changed in the way he goes about marking contests?
No, I mean, you've got to be really careful about the really obvious push where you sort of push them over. But the reality is when two players are competing in a contest, they're both pushing against each other. So if one's stronger than the other, the push is going to become more obvious. Yeah, I can understand that players are confused, and it's. I feel even more sorry for the umpires because I think it's extremely difficult to adjudicate. Besides the really obvious early push, we're just saying to our players, keep doing what you've always done, and we accept that occasionally there'll be some free kicks paid against them that we wouldn't have expected.
Because to say you can't use your hands at all in marking contests is just unrealistic.
Yep, but I mean, to say you can't block in a marking contest is unrealistic as well. I mean, it all comes down to interpretation of those things. I mean, my personal view is that if we've been saying you can't bump, block, push or hold in a marking contest, then two of the greatest footballers of all time, in Tony Lockett and Jason Dunstall, would have been ineffective. It's not a great development in our game.
Thanks for that, Chris. I hope everyone at home tipped Geelong, because I know I did. We'll go back to Rollo, but before we do, I'd just like to wish all the mothers a very happy Mother's Day this Sunday.
Thank you very much,
Back to
Alex,
you, Rollo.
and hope you enjoy your weekend of activity. And thank you for being with us on News Geelong. Watch out tomorrow morning here on Channel 31, Digital 44, for the Geelong and District Footy League netball program at 8 a.m, to be followed by the Geelong and District Footy League footy show, an exclusive. Dale Smith joins the panel and explains all that happened out at Inverleigh, so make sure you tune in. And of course, Digital Dick Philpott will be hosting the show, but he'll be a little sad because he's without his little insect mate, Grubbycations. Thanks for tuning in to News Geelong. To all the wonderful mothers out there, enjoy your day on Sunday, and we hope you really have a pleasant day. Take your time and smell the many flowers that you may receive. From all the team at News Geelong, have a great week, stay safe, and a very good night.